I don't even know the words to describe the chaos that we just saw tonight at Survivor Series. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Honestly, I don't even know what to say. If you were to compare the last 3 years that Survivor Series has hosted WarGames, you look at 2022, 2023, which was last year, and then this year's WarGames. I don't think any of the last 2 years compared to this year, because this year they fucking cooked. They fucking cooked. Like, this was probably by far one of if not the most insane Survivor Series PLEs we have had in years. And I am not gonna waste any time. I'm gonna actually, before we even get into it, I do want to give you guys a heads up that we are now, if I can pop it up on my YouTube Studio app, we are now officially 224 subs away from hitting 500 subs. And as always, if you guys have not done so already, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video. Excuse me. And as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And let us kick things off with the women's WarGames match, which was basically Team Liv versus Team Mommy. Obviously, Team Liv consisted of both Liv and Raquel of the Judgment Day, and then of course, Nia Jax and her entourage, Candice LeRae, and of course, Miss Money in the Bank Tiffany Stratton against Team Mommy, which obviously consisted of Rhea Ripley, Io Sky of Damage Control, Naomi, and originally it was supposed to have been both of the women's tag team champions, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, but since we still don't know who attacked Jade last week on SmackDown, Bayley ended up taking over. And this was interesting because Bayley has been in literally the two previous women's WarGames matches, and not once has she won. This one may have been different, but this was actually very critical, especially for Team Mommy, because obviously last week on Raw we saw Bianca Belair pick up the victory over Jax, over Nia. No, literally thanks to Bayley to gain the advantage for WarGames. And yes, I have said before, just because you've won the advantage for WarGames doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna win. The order of entry went as followed: Bayley, Nia Jax. Let's see, Bayley, Nia Jax, Naomi, and apparently Tiffany Stratton wanted to get involved, wanted to get in, but Candice LeRae, being the egotistical woman that she is, she got involved. She went in next. Then of course Bianca, then Tiffany, then Io Sky, then Raquel, then Rhea, and then of course Liv Morgan entered last. And this was literally about everything that you would expect from this year's WarGames, because there were so many different elements that went with this matchup. Obviously, the bullshit involving Bianca Belair, excuse me, and of course, Damage Control, the rivalry that Bianca had with Rhea from their days in NXT, Bayley trying to regain the WWE Women's title. You know, and then of course Rhea having her issues with Liv and Raquel, especially ever since WrestleMania. Actually, funny enough, so there was a lot, and this was literally all over the place. We saw literally everything. We saw we saw tables, we saw steel chairs, we saw kendo sticks, a trash can, and even a toilet seat. Like, really? A fucking toilet seat? Really? I don't know. This was literally all over the place. And we all thought that Liv and Raquel were planning to handcuff Rhea to the ropes, but it all backfired in the end, as it was Raquel Rodriguez that got handcuffed. No thanks in part, I think, to Bianca. I think Bianca was the one that handcuffed Raquel, which gave Rhea the opportunity to hit Liv Morgan with Riptide from the top, literally from the top rope, on literally through the table, to pick up the victory for her team inside WarGames. Now the question becomes this: now that that's out of the way, with Io Sky having, you know, still waiting for her opportunity at the women's world title, where does that leave Rhea? Does she get involved and it becomes a triple threat, or do they do something, or do they make it one-on-one between Rhea and Io, and the winner will face Liv at some point down the road? Honestly, there's a lot that we could consider. One thing that we could consider is potentially Liv and Io for the women's world title at Saturday night's main event in a couple of weeks. There's also the possibility that Io's match could take place sometime in the next week or so on Raw, which would then lead to Rhea and Liv at Saturday night's main event. The possibilities are out there. It's kind of hard to say at this point. Whoop! Sorry guys, my book fell and my tripod moved. There we go. Sorry guys, my tripod moved. Because I no longer have it standing on my desk. I actually just now have it standing on my floor. Anyway, obviously, now, where was I? Oh yeah, right. Obviously, there are so many possibilities that we could see. We even also almost saw Tiffany Stratton cash in Money in the Bank. She was this close, but Raquel was like, girl, what the hell are you doing? And so, again, she had her chance. She chose to waste it. That's the problem with rookies winning Money in the Bank. They don't know how to cash it in. The funny thing is that Austin Theory knew, and he still failed. You look at what's a good example? Excuse me. You look at Baron Corbin, who no longer works with WWE, unfortunately, but you look at him, he had only been in WWE for like a year, literally on the main roster for a year, and he fumbled his money in the bank cash in. So there have been times where superstars who have only been in WWE for like a year or so have won Money in the Bank, but they've always fumbled it. They've always dropped the ball, and I think Tiffany Stratton might end up just being another one of those superstars who may end up fumbling the ball, which would make her the only woman in WWE to either never cash in Money in the Bank, or B, cash in the briefcase but fail to win a championship, which is very possible. But altogether, the match itself, it cooked. It was absolutely insane. That's the nature of war games. Chaos, brutality, no pun intended with Rhea. 5 stars. Not much else to say about that. I think if Nia, I think if Liv's team had gotten the advantage, I don't think it would have mattered. I think Team Mommy still would have won, in my opinion. So there was really no other way for the match to have gone, in my opinion. But that's just how it is. But next up, we move into the United States title between LA Knight and Shinsuke Nakamura, and it's weird because I talked about this on last Tuesday, I think it was. I talked about how we hadn't seen much of Shinsuke in months. It's been since April, this past April, that we last saw Shinsuke Nakamura, and at that time he was dealing with was he dealing with Cody? Or was he dealing with someone? I think he was dealing with someone else, and we didn't see much of him since. But within the last couple weeks, he's shown up, and for some reason they injected him straight into the U.S. title picture, even though Andrade is the one who potentially is next in line for that title shot. And it's weird too, because there's a reason why Shinsuke Nakamura has been known as the King of Strong Style. It's because everything he does is so methodical. It is absolutely insane. And also too, during LA Knight's entrance, he literally dropped his title. He dropped the United States title, which brought into the question, was that an omen for what was going to happen during the match? And unfortunately it was, because LA Knight, he was off his game. Normally he would always be on his game and just pushing through it. I'm being real, as much respect as I do have for the megastar, Shinsuke returning and getting into his head, it just took a toll on him. Shinsuke ended up hitting LA Knight with a Kinshasa to win his third United States title. Honestly, I don't think this was that great of a match. I feel like if I just realized there's no water in my cup. I in my opinion, I feel like if both Andrade and someone else, like maybe Carmelo Hayes, or perhaps maybe Santos Escobar, if those two had injected themselves into the match and made it a fatal 4-way, then yeah, maybe LA Knight could have had an opportunity. But even still, 1-on-1 against this version of Shinsuke, LA Knight had no chance. I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm gonna give it 3 stars. I think. Do I believe it was the right decision to put the title on Shinsuke? At this stage in Shinsuke's career, yes. But at the same time, you think about Shinsuke and the things that he has done in WWE already. 2-time NXT champion, 3-time Intercontinental champion. Obviously now a 3-time U.S. champion, former king, king of the ring, if you can actually believe it. Royal Rumble winner, former tag team champion, and then of course too his time outside of WWE, former multi-time IWGP champion, the youngest champion in history, former IWGP Intercontinental champion. I mean the guy has pretty much done everything he set out to do. So I don't know if winning the U.S. title was the right decision. creatively speaking. But given the fact that this was LA Knight's first title, I think it was okay to see LA Knight drop the title to Shinsuke, because when you look at both the IC title, the Intercontinental title, and the United States title, they're both known as the workhorse titles, which can lead you potentially to world championship opportunities down the road. And I think this is an omen that we might see LA Knight potentially go after a world title at some point, which is possible, but only time will tell. Speaking of the Intercontinental title, we have the triple threat. Excuse me. We have the triple threat for the United States title between Braun Breaker, Sheamus, and of course Ludwig Kaiser. And this whole thing kind of started literally months ago when Sheamus made his return to WWE after what seemed like about a year almost away from injury. Kaiser just took him out big time, and then of course Braun Breaker became IC champion. And just when we thought Sheamus was becoming this close of winning the title, boom, Kaiser shows up once again, and now we have a triple threat. Crazy as it sounds, I think it was the right move for Braun Breaker to retain the title, especially because of the fact that the rivalry between Sheamus and Kaiser, it's far from done. I think there's no inconceivable way that this match could have ended differently. So I feel like at some point we need to have one final match between Sheamus and Kaiser, the winner faces Breaker for said Intercontinental title. And I think what did Sheamus in was the shillelagh shots that Kaiser put onto Sheamus himself. The bruises were just inconceivably nuts. It was too hard to watch. So honestly though, this was a pretty solid match. Absolutely incredible. It was just a banger. 4 stars. My opinion, 4 stars. Really cannot complain. Now we move into the World Heavyweight title between Gunther and Damian Priest. Oh my god. I'm not even gonna say anything about this match except 2 words. Finn Balor. Yep, you guys heard me right. Just when you thought everything was going Priest's way, the final moments, excuse me, we saw Finn Balor hit a coup de grace from the top of the steel steps onto Priest. Gunther dropkicks Balor, obviously pissed off Gunther that Balor attacked Priest, and then made Priest pass out to the sleeper, which proves that Finn Balor cannot get over the fact that Priest is still in the world title picture and not Finn Balor, which is weird because the ironic thing is that Finn Balor, he's already a champion. He's already one half of the World Tag Team Champions. So why push yourself even further and piss off Damian Priest even more? Obviously the Terror Twins, they still have their work cut out for them against the Judgment Day, and it ain't gonna be pretty. That's for damn sure. That is for damn sure. I'm gonna be optimistic and give it 3 stars. I think if Finn Balor hadn't have gotten involved, like if Priest told Pierce that he did not want any outside interference whatsoever, I feel like Priest maybe could have won. But at the same time, it was this match was a way to, a way for Gunther to prove that, hey, I need to win this and regain my confidence. And I feel like with this match, even with Finn Balor getting involved? I think he did. But now we move into the main event, and it's the men's War Games match. But it ain't just any ordinary men's War Games match. Oh, no, 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 no. My friends, it was a Bloodline Civil War Games. The OG Bloodline and the new Bloodline. Obviously, the OG is consistent of Roman Reigns, main event Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Sami Zayn, and of all people, CM Punk. Which we will get to that in a moment. The new Bloodline consisted of Solo, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Big Bronson Reed. Now, for those who have been curious about the whole thing of why CM Punk joined up with the OG Bloodline, to give you guys a bit of context, everyone knows that when it came to Paul Heyman in WWE, we know that there have only been a few superstars who were considered the OG Paul Heyman guys. Brock Lesnar is one, Big Show's another, Kurt Angle is definitely one that comes into mind. And then of course as well, CM Punk. CM Punk ended up becoming one of the OG Paul Heyman guys, and when CM Punk left WWE and went over to went elsewhere, obviously we all know what happened there. And it's weird because the new Bloodline put Paul Heyman through a table. Whoop. Sorry guys, my camera keeps moving. Hang on. Give me 1 second, guys. I need to fix my tripod. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Alright, guys, I am back. Had to fix my tripod because my rug kept moving it. So I do apologize. But moving on though, but moving on, as I was saying, the new Bloodline put Paul Heyman through the announce table on SmackDown a few months ago in Madison Square Garden, and then prior to that, Solo Sikoa tried to get CM Punk to acknowledge him, which obviously led to Paul Heyman wanting CM Punk to do him a favor of getting Heyman out of the Bloodline, if you will, which again completely backfired, and so that led to a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown when Paul Heyman returned and announced that CM Punk would be member number 5 of the OG Bloodline. Which is weird because when you look at CM Punk and Roman Reigns, this whole thing between Punk and Reigns kind of started back in 2012, ironically enough, at Survivor Series when Punk was defending the WWE title and Roman Reigns had CM Punk's back. He became literally Punk's enforcer, if you will. And then of course it just came to this. So the order of entry went as followed: Tama Tonga, main event Jey Uso, Big Bronson Reed, Jimmy Uso, Jacob Fatu, Sami Zayn, Tonga Loa, CM Punk, Solo Sikoa, and Roman Reigns. Obviously, Roman told Punk, nope, you ain't getting in. Sami Zayn's getting in. And then of course Roman, and then when it was the OG Bloodline's turn to enter, Punk was like, nope, fuck you, I'm going in myself. And even with that, and even with Roman Reigns accidentally, literally by accident, hitting Punk with the spear, it all worked out in the end. Obviously Obviously, Punk was looking for a GTS onto Jacob Fatu, but as Roman tried to hit Solo with the spear, Solo pushed Reigns right into Punk, and even with that, Jacob Fatu was Big Bronson Reed was looking to hit a tsunami onto Roman Reigns through the table from the top of WarGames. Punk saved him. And it all worked out in the end as the closing moments of WarGames. First off, though, before I even get to that, chaos. Steel chairs, tables, everything else in between. It was absolutely chaotic. Even a toolbox. As well. And even with that toolbox, Jacob Fatu was still able to get up from that shot, which was very strange. But the closing moments of the match, we saw both Jimmy and Jey Uso hitting Solo with a super kick, which allows Sami Zayn to hit Solo with a haluva kick. GTS by CM Punk, spear by Reigns onto Solo. 1, 2, 3. That was it. So now it begs the question now that this match is done, there are so many questions that need to be answered. First and foremost, where do Solo and Roman go from here? Now that WarGames is done, where does Solo go in terms of his role as the tribal chief? And is Roman Reigns gonna try and get back his Ulafala? Another question is, what's going to be next for Jey moving forward? What will be next for Jimmy Uso moving forward? What's going to be next for Sami Zayn moving forward? And also the question of, what is the favor? What was the favor that CM Punk mentioned? And also the question, where does Bronson Reed go from here now that WarGames is done? Because now he has to deal with once again, Seth freaking Rollins. And for some reason now he's got to deal with CM Punk. But also Rollins also has to put his focus on CM Punk as well. So there's a lot going on with this one. And there's been a lot of chatter that Roman, Jimmy, Jey, and Sammy are actually going to be together on Raw when it moves to Netflix, literally in less than a month. In less than a month, Raw's moving to Netflix. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it all will play out, and I can't wait. I think it's going to be very interesting, but we'll have to wait and see. But overall, the card itself was just absolutely loaded, top to bottom. 5 stars for the men's WarGames match. All in all, not bad. I think this was probably by far one of the best Survivor Series PLEs we've had. I think since last year. Last year was actually kind of cracked. I mean, CM Punk coming back, Randy Orton coming back. The possibilities are out there now, but I got a feeling that 2025 is going to be very interesting, to say the very least. But with that being said, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more premium live event predictions and results in the future, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.